Hello, welcome to another episode of Awaken Your Truth. I'm so excited to be here with you.
Me too. I feel amazing.
I feel amazing too. We're going to be talking today or discussing a little bit about our inner being. I know Katie and I have kind of thrown that around a little bit, the word, and we've talked about it a little bit, but let's dive into it some more.
I'm so excited, and my inner being is so excited.
Yeah.
It's like I feel the energy of my inner being here with us. So that's
Yes.
amazing to feel.
Yeah.
Let's begin with joyful moments. Will you share one for us, please?
I have a little story and it seems kind of funny, but I have a friend, is probably my longest year-wise friend. I think we've known each other for over 20 years. And we connected recently on a little bit of inner being stuff. It's a little bit different. So she's just getting into exploring Akashic records. And I'm like, "Ooh, I don't know much about that." Like, yeah, you can like kind of go into mine and ask questions and different things. And so I had asked her, wait, let me step back for a second. I have been feeling this like wild energy in my like root, people would say your root chakra, like just lots and lots and lots of movement. And I'm like, what's going on? So this ties in perfectly to our topic because I'm
Yay.
like, oh, I'll ask my inner being, I'll connect and see what guidance information. So what I got back from my inner being is like, this is energy moving. It's all good. Like give it space. And then the words that came through were movement, like easy movement. And I'm like, okay, cool. Like just, that's great to know. And then, so I was still feeling this again. And so when I was talking to my friend and I said, hey, maybe you can look into my records and see, ask that question. And what came back, it was so awesome. It was like almost literally the same thing. It said, remember, it's important to keep the energy movement. Movement is especially important at this time. Does not need to be intense. Gentle walking, yoga, stretching can also do. Move it. And so that moment that I read that text back from her, it was like pure joy. And the joy came from being able to share that experience and feel that connection, but it's like the connection to truth.
Mhm.
It's like there is more than one way that the information is true. It's like the interpreting of it, like that truth is there. And so to be able to share that and have I don't know, it was just so pure joy.
Would your friend use the term inner being as in, oh, Ginny, I tuned into your inner being and this is what I got? Like, does she know
She
how you conceptualize inner being?
We've had this conversation and when she talks about the records, I'm like, oh, that's like you're talking to my inner being.
Okay, right.
So I think possibly, but there's just a little different perspective on it, which I think is beautiful. Like I really love the diversity available and all the different ways people walk this path and interpret or label different truths coming through.
Me too. And I
Yeah.
think it does feel like a different labeling of the same thing.
Yeah.
That same connection to source, the same connection to the truth of who we are. And because we're individuals and we have different backgrounds and different learning experiences and different books we've read and
Yeah.
leaders that we've listened to, we interpret that energy and label it with what feels right for us.
Just got goosebumps. It's so true.
It's so true.
Yeah. And our mind will want to get in there and say, that's either right or wrong, or it needs to be different. But the truth is, it is the same energy. And however we're interpreting it in a way that feels good to us is the best and right way.
This is so fun to
Yeah.
get into, because some people might hear us talk about inner beings and say that
Right.
feels really weird, like I can't
Right.
relate to what you're talking about. But
Yeah.
if you're listening with your presence right now, and when we get into it further, if you say, oh, I've experienced that before, I just call it this. Like,
Yes.
that's our connection, that's our oneness, because we are all this one source energy, but we're individualized.
I love this idea of like feel it, like as you're listening, feel first, feel and then comprehend, or then seek to understand what, like through that level of the mind.
Yeah, because your mind might say, this is crazy talk.
Yeah, totally. I
And then
mean,
that's
my
gonna
mind has told
block.
me that.
Oh, me too. Me
Yeah.
too. And then, but that'll block like your connection to your truth.
Yes.
So maybe even after I share my joyful moment,
Yeah.
maybe even we could set the intention for our audience. Like we are opening to feeling our truth in
Yes.
this podcast.
Oh, I love it.
Okay.
I mean, intention set.
Yeah.
Bam.
Yeah. Perfect. Bam.
Yeah.
Set.
So what's your joyful moment?
My joyful moment was a beautiful fall afternoon when the sun came out, and I was with my Alaska history class, and we'd been learning about medicinal plants, local
Yeah.
medicinal plants. And I just had the inspiration, I'm sure it was from my inner being, to say to the kids, okay, we've read about these, we've learned about them. Let's go outside and let's go on the trails. We have these beautiful trails around our school, and let's look for a plant that speaks to us.
Oh my
And
gosh,
we'll
that's so
find,
cool.
it was so much fun. We'll find a plant that we are interested in, and then we'll research it and we'll put together like a field guide to the plants around our school. And the kids, of course, were super excited because we got to go outside.
And it
And
wasn't planned.
no,
Yeah.
no. And I looked outside and I'm like, it is gorgeous outside. We're talking about plants. Let's go outside.
Yes.
And I'd gotten this new app that another student had told me about called Picture This, I think, or actually, I don't remember what it's called, but you can focus on a plant and it will scan the image and then the name of the plant will come up. And so we weren't sure what some of the plants were, but they were so excited to be like, Mrs. Harrison, use your app. Let's figure out what this plant is. Mrs. Harrison, over here. And we were just running through the woods and enjoying nature. Kids were climbing trees. We were playing in the woods. And a girl just said, I love being in nature so much. And I said, me
Wow.
too. And I was so present in that moment of, we are in our joy. This is a joyful moment.
Yeah.
We're in nature, we're exploring, we're learning, we're creating, and everybody was in their joy. And I felt that energy. I felt the energy of the woods. I felt the energy of the trees being in joy, that we were out there.
Yeah. I think this is a beautiful example for the power that comes when we can hear and listen and follow and choose to follow the inner being guidance. I'll just call it guidance. It's not, we'll talk about that later. Okay. But like what I wanted to highlight was when we get that inspiration and follow it in that moment because you were being present, that energy is what almost like dictates or creates the space for the experience of you and all the students.
It's like
right?
setting an intention. It's like
like
feeling into that energy, and that allowing that energy and aligning with it is creating that joyous experience.
Yes, it's tuning into the energy and letting the energy create the experience, not the mind's idea of how it should be. Like, oh, it will be fun to go outside and find some plants is different than like catching the inspiration to go outside.
And trusting. And I just had this really big aha. Like, let's say I had the idea and I said, okay, you guys, I think we should go outside, but here are the rules. You can't get out of my sight. We can only stay outside for 20 minutes. You have to be looking for the plant that speaks to you. By the time we get in, you have to have your plant. Like, what if I would have gone into teacher mode, like setting the rules for what we were about to experience? I guarantee that I would have had, quote, behavior problems outside.
There is this organically creative energy inside us that we all have access to. And the more we let it out, the more we honor it, the more freedom we give it, the more it can come out and create experiences like that.
I know.
It's the natural, like that is the nature. That's our nature.
I feel so full of it right now. Like I can feel it in the cells in my body. It's so exciting.
That's okay. So let's talk a little bit more about what an inner being is. Like, what are we referring to every time we use the word inner being?
In my
Yes, yours.
experience, my inner being feels like a connection to source energy,
Mm,
but a connection that is accessible in that I don't know how to describe this, but I can speak with it, communicate with it,
mhm,
and receive epic words of wisdom that feel like my truth from my inner
mhm.
being. And it feels like there's no words to really describe it, but it almost feels like the intermediate me between source and my human experience. It's like this connection, this reminder that I am source energy. And it's my gateway to really knowing that truth as I'm a human.
Yeah. And is your inner being different from source energy, from the all knowing life, that the energy that creates worlds?
Well, it is source energy, but it feels like focused source
Oh,
energy.
that's a beautiful word. Yes.
And
Focused.
yeah, sometimes I feel like the energy feels different in terms of what's coming through. And I journal
Mhm.
a lot with my inner being, and I can ask questions back and forth. And sometimes my inner being is responding with we.
Yeah.
And so I don't have a visual on that, and that's totally okay with me. Like I just
Yeah.
know the purity of the wisdom and the knowingness that comes through.
Yeah. I think sometimes when we're experiencing or trying to use our mind to understand what an inner being is, we're again limited because we're always limited when we're using our mind to try to understand something. And so I think that's really kind of perfect to describe it as I don't know this part of it, or like
Yeah.
it's this and it's this, right? It's individual and it's source.
Mhm.
So it almost
What do you add to that? When you want to describe it to someone, what do you say?
very similar to you. And what I've gotten from my inner being is that it's like an individualized version of source.
Yes, that's
And
what
so, I
I
mean, a
hear too.
lot of people will call this like your soul, right?
Mhm.
Um, but when I communicate with my inner being as well, from the beginning, I've gotten we. And
Yeah.
so I've all when I started, I just thought I was talking to source, right?
Mhm.
Like that's it. I just thought, okay, I'm connecting to the one source. Because actually, when I started, I didn't quite really believe there was an individual part of that. But there is something different. And I love the word focused
Mhm.
because it's like we can use a good old example of a drop in the ocean. Like it's both.
Yeah.
It's the drop
Yes.
and
And
the
it's the
ocean.
ocean.
Yeah.
That
And
is
so for me, it feels like this very deep when I'm connecting to it. Um, and it does require me to kind of go beyond my mind. It's it still feels like it's filtered through my mind a little bit, like
Mhm.
in terms of some of the ways my mind has learned to communicate and describe things and label things, like, but I can tell a difference when I'm writing with my inner being. It's almost like it has its own style a little bit.
Yeah, same.
Yeah. Or when I'm writing fully from my mind's perspective. And my mind has a great perspective on life. Like I've trained my
Mhm.
mind that way. But then I can also tune into something that's other than that. And it will tell me things that I don't already know in a little bit of way.
Right.
Even though when it comes out, I'm like, oh, I know
I
that.
know that. But then it's like, I know that.
Yeah.
This is reminding me of when I asked my inner being about spiritual leaders or
Mm,
kind of channels,
mhm.
people who are individual humans. At the root of what they're saying, it's all the same. Like the truth
Yes.
is the same. But my inner being has told me that the human is like a different wrapper. and the wrapper appeals, like a candy bar wrapper is what I'm imagining. A candy bar wrapper appeals to that certain population. And it's also, the wrapper is based on this human perspective as well. So a little bit of that humanness is coming through in the channel. So
Mhm.
everyone's saying the same thing, but it's individualized.
Yeah. And that's perfect.
I
Like
love
it's all part of this greater opening and expansion in consciousness. I only am saying that because I used to
it.
really, like, I used to see the way some teachers would teach, and I'm like, oh, they're teaching fear and whatever. But even that it's still coming from the same source, and it's
Yes.
so valuable and important to different
Yes.
waves of people opening. I know.
Oh my gosh. Like when you
Yeah,
think about each leader is opening the
I
door to a
know.
select population, and
Yeah,
it's like source orchestrating this. And
yeah,
it's so cool.
yeah. And there's nothing we have to push against, control, manage, anything. We just are in our own connection
Mhm.
to our inner being. Yeah.
Right.
Did you ever doubt that it was your inner being coming through versus your mind?
Sure. Yes. But I think, is it okay if we back even up more? Like
Yeah.
how did we open to this connection, and how did this start for us?
I mean, I remember exactly mine. I think we might have touched on it, but I was like, get me out of my head. Like
Right.
and so it was literally opening and asking for something else, like something beyond what I know.
Mhm.
And as well, like I've been listening to Abraham Hicks for years, and I believe in channels and channeling, and Abraham talks about how everybody has access to source. Like you guys don't, everybody has access to Abraham. Like you don't need Esther to be the person, just go it yourself. So that really piqued my curiosity. I'm like, oh, okay. So I guess it was a little bit of the getting to the place where I needed something beyond my own mind, some
Mhm.
sort of guidance, or yeah, and knowing that it was, or believing it was possible.
Yes, that's what I
Yeah.
wanted to touch on, is that we kind of have to believe that it's possible.
Mhm.
And for me, I think I knew, I'd always heard, oh, everything you need is inside yourself.
Yes.
And I intellectually for a long time was like, okay, yeah, but I still need help in this area. And I still need help in
Yeah.
this area. And I'm going to go to this outside source to get my help. But I had these seeds planted from a young age of like, everything you need is inside yourself.
Yeah.
So I think there was a little bit of a seedling in there that felt the truth of it. And then the more I listened to different teachers like Abraham, like Eckhart, saying, you have your connection to source inside. You
Mhm.
have everything you need. You have all your knowingness inside of you. Then that seed was growing and growing, and I could feel the desire like, okay, I'm ready. I'm ready to open to this
Yes.
possibility, kind of like you, because I needed that. I needed that connection to free me from
Yes.
my mind.
Yes. I love that you said the intellectual knowing, because like teachers, people tell us there's like everything you need is within you. And I believed that as much as I could possibly intellectually believe that
Right. Yeah.
while I was still looking for it outside.
Looking for me too. Me too.
then like then I guess at some point it was like I can't get it from outside.
Mhm.
Like I can't, like it doesn't, the answer I'm looking for doesn't exist outside.
Yeah, none of this outside stuff is working.
It's
It's
certainly not
not working.
working. Yeah.
Maybe it was working for a while when I needed it to work before I was like, I thought it was surface working, but
Yeah.
there was still all this other stuff below the surface. And when that
Yeah.
started to come up, I'm like, okay, inner being, I need you now.
Yeah. You didn't even have those words. What did you call it? What would you say before?
I don't know. I think I asked for help. I
Me
think
too.
I asked like the universe for help.
Yes, the universe. I remember like having I flipped back over a number of years ago and read a journal entry of something that was like, please help me go beyond my mind.
Yes.
Like, and I was like, it was like, I'm ready to know what I don't know, or something like that.
Okay. So our just to what is it called when you review something? Just to go back
Reflect,
over reflect.
review,
I don't know. It's an RE word. Just to reiterate, maybe
reiterate.
that's it. First, there was a little bit of intellectual knowing,
Yeah.
and then there was the ask or the opening,
Well, first, then there was the struggle, and then
the
there was the
struggle, and
opening.
then there
Yeah.
was the opening.
Mhm.
And so when you were ready, how did you begin this like relationship with your inner being? Like, what are the tangible physical things you did?
Yeah, it actually started. So my aunt is a writer, and at some point we connected, and she gave me an assignment, and this was just for writing. It was nothing to do with connecting with my inner being. And she said, just sit down and write. Just whatever it's called free writing, whatever comes to your mind. It doesn't need to make sense. And so I just did that. And that truly opened this, like I actually let myself write anything that came to my mind. And then what happened was, it started with a ton of mind stuff,
Mhm.
mind, like, but then because I was just letting it flow, something else came through,
Mhm.
something that wasn't like I didn't make up. And
How did you know? How did you just
I
felt
don't
it?
know, you can just feel, I just
Just
felt
feeling it.
it. And I judged it immediately, like over and over and over. This can't be, that's not that, that's not. And it wasn't like it was like, it's so subtle it was so subtle for me. And that's what, at the beginning. And so that's why I felt compelled to judge it so much, is because it's not like, oh, I'm writing in this kind of handwriting and now I'm writing in a different kind
Mm,
and I know
yeah.
it's this, right? It was all an internal awareness experience.
And I feel like maybe my experience was a little different because when I
Yeah,
finally did start journaling and asking questions, I felt like it was my inner being right away.
right
And I
away.
think I felt that because my belief was so strong at that point.
Yeah. Okay, so
I'd
step
been,
back. So for
yeah.
you, was it also, so the knowing, the seedling was there, intellectual knowing, then the struggle, then the opening. So how did it open for you?
To want to converse with my inner being, like
Yes.
knowing there had to be a different way than being
Right.
caught in my fearful mind.
Yeah.
Like and asking for help, and probably reading The Power of Now with
Mhm.
Eckhart Tolle and recognizing that I was not my mind. I knew there was something else, and
Yes.
I was open to feeling that something else, and I knew at that point I knew it was possible.
Yeah.
So, and I could tell
So
when
then
I
what
was
did you do?
journaling.
You pulled out a journal and you sat
Yeah.
down. Okay.
And I asked for help. I asked questions, and I felt this energy come through like right away. I
Oh,
felt it right away. And I felt my
amazing.
hand move, and I'm like, oh wow, this is wild. And then like going back and reading, I'm like, I knew it was. And
Yeah.
then sometimes if there was a lot in my mind, I
Yeah.
could feel my mind wanting to write the answers. And then I
Yeah.
knew I had to go a little deeper and relax and allow. And I could tell the difference.
Yeah. That's so amazing. I love how there's so many different ways to connect with your inner being.
Me
So
too.
like Katie and I are both talking about writing, and I think that's a common pathway, but there's also so many other. It doesn't have to, for you, come through in terms of writing. It could be just feeling, right? At the
Mhm.
beginning, it could this like this we both love meditation. That's one way we open the door. Um both of us have actually said like we sing with our inner being.
That I forgot that was one of the first things that was happening for me. I take these
Yeah.
long walks by myself in the morning before my neighborhood is open. And I would just start singing these lyrics that I haven't done that in a while, but these lyrics would come out and I could feel the energy of them. And I'm like, whoa, this is kind of fun. And I would just be singing out loud, and that energetic feeling, now that I'm reflecting on it, yeah, that was my inner being coming through.
Yeah. Um, what other ways like people can, I mean, any artistic, anything, like you could be walking, you could be moving with your inner being. Some people will receive visions.
Mhm.
I'm a very visual person. So often there's been a number of like times in my life really, really clearly where I can receive a vision that I like don't know where it came from, and it's consistent and I can feel it. It's just there's no one way. So like I just want to make
Yes.
clarify that because we're sharing that like we sat down and with a journal and asked our inner being questions, like doesn't
Mhm.
have to be that way for you if this is something that you're interested in.
Like a lot of people talk about how intuition, it's their
Yes.
intuition. And so it's the feeling, the physical knowingness in their body. So their intuition guides them in certain situations.
Yeah.
And it's just a knowingness that occurs in the physical body. Would you say when people talk about angels or
Mhm.
people who are helping, guiding,
Yeah.
does that feel like inner being to you?
Again, it all feels like the same thing.
I know, me too. Me too.
It's all just how it feels best to tune into that. So when someone is like, I love the idea of having an angel, that is best for them to like feel a version of their inner being or the
Exactly.
energy of their inner being. It's all the same energy.
And I'm feeling into when we were kids and we had the imaginary friend.
Imaginary friends. Oh my
Like, that's inner being.
gosh.
My mother-in-law still talks about Douglas. Like,
Oh my
Douglas is the
gosh.
person she asks for help when she's lost something, when she's really struggling.
Oh my
And I
God,
get really
that's amazing.
excited because when that happens, she's like, I can't find my keys. I'm like, Anne, let's ask Douglas together. And she is like, she is so open to that. And we asked Douglas, and it's always resolved.
Yeah. That is so
So
awesome.
Douglas is like her inner being.
Yeah. That's really cool.
It is really
Um,
cool.
this is, I don't know if this requires a whole separate kind of episode, but connecting with my inner being in this way, like writing, is I think I might have shared this before, but it's the like second most powerful tool for me to know my truth and for me to like a practical way for me to stay grounded in my truth and the
Mhm,
vision.
mhm. Yeah, what's the first way?
Meditation.
Yeah, meditation.
Yeah.
Okay. But I have used this so often when my mind is caught up in the fear, then I just have this urge, like I've got to get out my journal. And I will often flip to a page in my journal, and my inner being has said something that is applicable to
Ooh,
that
cool.
situation. And
Yeah.
then that blows my physical mind because I'm thinking, like, how did my inner being know that this was going to come up and I was going to open my journal to this page and my question would be answered? Like, I love just imagining, because in the inner being's realm, there is no time. Like, it's just
Yeah.
now, but it's so cool.
It is so cool. So if you're listening and you either have a connection to something or you already call it your inner being or you're wanting to expand that experience for yourself, just ask. Just
And
ask the
open.
question and open,
Yeah.
because the path for that connection to strengthen will come to you because it is our natural state. Like we talked about at the very beginning, it is who we are. We're meant to know that feeling and know that truth.
To know our truth as source energy, our
Yeah.
connection to our eternal nature, and the guidance that is within us all.
Yeah.
I just thought of something I wanted to revisit. When you
Yeah.
said you were judging a lot at the beginning, like, is this real? Is this not real? And
Yeah.
I had the idea of like, who cares?
That's
Because
what
it
my inner being
feels, yeah,
said.
who cares? Because it feels so good.
Literally, those were the
Oh,
words.
I
Like,
love
I
it.
asked that question, like, is this real? And the response, they always use we too, they, we. Um, does it matter?
Doesn't matter. Exactly, because it
Yeah,
feels so good.
because it
And
feels good.
what is the idea of real anyway? Like, real doesn't mean anything, because okay, that's a whole nother
Oh, here we
podcast.
go. Oh, amazing.
Oh, and we would love to talk about inner being. So if there are any specific questions that come up and you want to drop them in the comment box on our website, we would be so excited. And sharing joyful moments, of course, the energy of that would be really fun to tap into on the podcast.
I love sharing space with you, Katie.
Me too. It felt so amazing. I love sharing space with you as well. And our inner
And
beings.
all of our listeners. We
Yeah.
will see you guys next time. Have a great one.
Bye.